What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. The developers have finally confirmed that Gotham Knights on console is going to run at a 30 FPS performance. This is very harrowing for a lot of gamers, but for some of us, I don't think it's really surprising, but there are actually a very few of us that actually see this from that perspective. Now, for the past 2 years, I've been making a whole lot of videos talking about how this particular game was going to be a very difficult and challenging game to make because of its optimization requirements for the nature of game that it is. Now, when you go ahead and talk about the technicalities, the very first thing you risk is people are going to call you a shill or whatever it is. But I usually ignore them because my goal is to serve you guys in the community and provide some light on exactly what it is that I think is going on and why Gotham Knights is possibly not able to run at that kind of a frame rate or performance when it comes to console. Now, here's even the thing. Even for PC, I don't think we're really in the clear. I think we're probably going to be receiving some interesting performance behaviors on the day that this game comes out. It'll be really interesting to see because if you're on PC, I know you're probably saying, we're free and clear. Now, calm down with that notion. It might be a thing where we may need some patches and a few tweaks that are probably going to have to help with the performance, because if not, this game called Gotham Knights looks like it's going to literally eat your memory and all of your PC device capabilities because of the way the game is designed. Now, if you care to know why this is a thing, then hang on the video. If not, I guess you already have made up your mind. You don't care if it's 30 FPS, you're going to either play or not play. That's your decision to make. In fact, I actually downgraded my pre-order from Deluxe on the Xbox to the regular edition. I literally canceled that pre-order. I went out to GameStop, made some trades, and then I got myself a Microsoft gift card so I can buy the standard edition. I'm not doing the Deluxe anymore because of this news. Now, the explanation that the developers gave, and this is an explanation that came from Fleur Marty, who is one of the devs that is in charge of this game, was quite interesting. They made it very clear to the community to the best that they could. In fact, this is, in my opinion, quite commendable because they did this on today. And I was saying it, they need to get ahead of this because it was quite necessary for their own, for their own reputation as a development studio, so that everybody can know that they're being transparent and whatever goes down, let it go down. So Fleur Marty goes ahead and says to everyone here in the Discord server, if I can open the darn thing up, she says, "Hello, everyone. I know many of you are wondering about the availability of a performance mode for Gotham Knights on consoles. Due to the types of features we have in our game, like providing a fully untethered co-op experience in our highly detailed open world, it is not as straightforward as lowering the resolution and getting a higher FPS. For this reason, our game does not have a performance/quality toggle option and will run at 30 FPS on consoles." Straightforward. Disappointing. If you look at the amount of people that are not really excited with this, there is a huge number in terms of people that are downvoting this. They're like almost 500, Rage Face about 176. And so this is not news that a lot of people are willing to hear. But here's the thing. There actually is a logical explanation as to why this is the case. And I risk actually having to deal with people who will come after me in the comment section, but I'm ready for y'all. You guys know, but at the end of the day, I don't know if I should just maybe point you to other videos that I've made or if I should do it in this video, but what the heck, I'll go ahead and do it. So Gotham Knights is a game that you can play single player on your console. You don't need an internet connection to play the game. Once you install the game is already on your console. You can unplug your internet cable, give it to your dog to eat up, and you can enjoy the entire game. This is the difference between a game like Gotham Knights and many other video games that have a co-op or an online aspect. For most other games like that have an online or co-op aspect, which could be untethered as well, a game like Tom Clancy's The Division 1 and The Division 2, you have to log into the server of that game to be able to play the game. Now, the open world experience and the co-op experience in both games, I've played them over thousands of hours, by the way, is untethered. One person can be on one side of the map, the other person on the other side of the map, and unless there are certain aspects of the game, like say maybe specific places the game allows everybody to be able to roam freely. In fact, there was a tactic we used to use in the Division 1. Everybody would go play these side missions when they were helping somebody else to level up. And as the side missions were about to be completed, you just fast travel to one of your guys. He'll take out the last guy and you will get all the XP. You fast travel to the other guy. He'll take out another guy and you get all the XP. So everybody could be accomplishing different tasks all at the same time. Gotham Knights brings that system as well, where your pal or your co-op partner can run around in your world. Now, the difference though is the Division does run a lot of its processes on the server side compared to Gotham Knights, which I think, and this is my own, perception, is running everything on the console side. That way you can just play the game fully without logging into any online server compared to Division 1 and the Division 2. Other games that also do this are games like Outriders, Destiny 2, and maybe some other games out there that have the whole untethered open world and so on and so forth. I also have seen criticisms from people around our community say things like, well, Gotham Knights world is just kind of weird and it doesn't look like Red Dead Redemption 2 and blah, 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 blah. Keep in mind that a lot of these complaints are, in my opinion, just disingenuous. If you compare Red Dead Redemption 2's world to Gotham Knights world and don't talk about Red Dead Online being an external server and an external game mode, then you're lying to yourself, because Red Dead Online is an entirely different game mode. So if Gotham Knights actually wanted to do something like Red Dead and run at the highest and best frequency, they should have put their co-op mode in a separate aspect of the game. Making an open world game and doing it together is exactly what is right now biting the game in its proverbial butt. At the end of the day, nonetheless, these are some of the technical aspects towards games like this. Now, you may wonder where I even got this technical thing from. I actually got it from a developer who was actually answering a question to Youngye. Some of you know Youngye. Youngye's been here doing YouTube videos, got a bunch of subscribers. And when people were talking about Outriders when it first came out, why you needed to log into the game, a developer from Ubisoft Massive, Frederick Thylander, actually weighed in on the position. If you want to know who he is, he's actually was at the time the lead 3C designer on the Division 1, also the Division 2, and right now he's working on the Star Wars project that Ubisoft is working on. He went on Twitter in that conversation and said that one of the biggest reasons that many video games did that was because you actually had to deal with all of the constraints of the consoles. The consoles being the PS4 and the Xbox One being comparable to 2013 laptops. That's exactly what he called it in that tweet. I keep that tweet every time because I was just reading the threads and he was explaining this stuff to a lot of people. And I think this is number one, why the console version for the PS4 was absolutely nuked. There was probably no way that they were going to cram that open world into the PS4 with the co-op side of it. It would literally run your PS4 and it would just, it's just insane how CPU intensive this game is going to be. The second red flag that I probably should have pointed out was, but there's no way I could have seen it. We thought that the first leaked PC requirements that were kind of, in a sense, published and then taken down, or maybe they were cached pages, it showed that the game was going to be requiring a Core i5-6600, which is also a quad-core CPU. That is a CPU that's better than a PlayStation 4 for the minimum requirements. But apparently, when they brought out all the main recommended minimum specs, that CPU requirement moved up from the 6th generation Skylake to the 9th generation Intel, which is more of an efficient CPU, not necessarily too much better, but actually greater than what we had eventually thought was going to be the requirements. So this already started to tell us that this game was going to be a lot of CPU work that needed to be, going in. And so I think that's probably one of the main things that you're going to have to be dealing with. At the end of the day, if this is a deal breaker and a tiebreaker for you, you know how to act accordingly. Some of you have said, I'm not playing if it's not 60 FPS. That's perfectly fine. It's your money. It's your choice. It's your game. You get to choose. And that's why I love, making these videos, because I'm talking to adults. Everyone can make the choice for themselves. Some of you have said, I don't care. I'll play in 30 FPS. It doesn't bother me. And that's also your choice as well. And I can understand all sides of the discussion in this particular aspect. But in order for you to know the reason why you're seeing this, that's exactly why. And for those of you who probably do not necessarily know, who have been thinking about, the gameplay from, a while ago seemed like it was, 60 FPS gameplay. Folk, this was not 60 FPS gameplay. Digital Foundry was the first place that, actually talked about this May gameplay from a technical perspective. In fact, they didn't even seem interested. I remember they were doing the podcast, and there's just a very small segment where they talked about it. And they were like, we don't understand why this game is not even on the PS4 because it doesn't look as good as Arkham. That was actually their statement. And one of them said, the only reason I can see why the game is not on the PS4 is because of possibly the network aspect of things. Here we are again. His guess was actually quite spot on if you look at things. And then they also said, it appeared that they played this game at that time in 30 FPS. And he was wondering, why would they upload the video in 30 FPS? But that was, the first set of suspicion that somebody got that this game was in 30 FPS. I can say, as much as I want to commend the devs for their, transparency, the delay in dropping this news is what I don't necessarily think, is the best look for the developers. Now, it does provide a better look. Don't get me wrong. All is not lost. The game did not release on you, and then you found out like, whoa, where's my 60 FPS? And then you were looking all over the place for it. At least now everybody is very aware of Gotham Knights. This is the one game that's giving you the full package as to what it is. And again, I think somebody might be asking, but how about other games that are able to squeeze it in and still give you 60 FPS on those other games that are also games that allow for multiplayer, co-op, and whatever it is? The truth of the matter is, maybe their developers have some kind of an alchemy, or they know something that's not, universally known in other aspects of game development. And they're able to get their games out, even though they may be untethered or whatever it is. You might have a game that you know about that I don't know about. And so it's all developer knowledge and it's all developer interaction. But we haven't really seen the scope of Gotham Knights to be able to compare the game with other games. So leave it to those who are going to go in there and give you their feedback. Let us do our thing, and you can definitely see how it goes. The only reason I got the console version, folks, is because of y'all. Literally. I'm going to, on the day it comes out, hopefully, God willing, nothing goes crazy, I'm going to take the game. I'm going to just play a little bit and show you and say, hey, this is what I'm seeing here. And then that's it. That way you can see, from somebody else what it looks like. But perspective wise, I already knew when they showed the PC reveal that I was going to be playing on PC. But I wanted to make sure that at least you guys are well informed when the game is revealed, so you can at least get the information that you need and make your choice from there on. So, thoughts in the comment section. I appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon. Peace out.